Good evening, and welcome to the Midnight Hour with Muckster. I'll be your host tonight, Muckster. So, anyway, earlier on tonight, I was bored looking for something. I saw Resla was having a show about free speech or something, I think. Um, and I decided to tune in. Now, let me first say something about Resla. He amuses me because he has this show where he portrays himself as a deep thinker, and he'll often have other deep thinkers like Brick Jones on there. And when I watch, it really just seems to me like he and the guest he'll have on are just blathering on about things that are obvious or that make no sense. But they think if they talk long and use big words, it'll come off as intellectual. So anyway, he was having his show tonight, and the Angry Vet was in chat. So let me tell you about the Angry Vet. Uh, I used to like the Angry Vet. Again, I found him amusing, but he was always amusing on purpose. He's a good jokester, but I kind of got off of him lately for various reasons. Um, don't have to go into a lot of details, but for a couple of things, I think probably around the last show of his I watched, he pulled a full Todd on it because he sat there talking about how he wasn't going to call out other channels anymore. I remember him saying things like, I'm not going to tell you people who the grifters are. If you can't figure it out for yourself, that's on you. But I'm just not going to do that stuff anymore. And he also said, by the way, if you think I'm doing something wrong, you should tell me. In fact, what he said was, if you think I'm fucking up, you should tell me I'm fucking up. Well, again, he pulled a full Todd on both those things because he immediately went right back to talking about other channels and complaining about guys like Christopher Ruff, who, by the way, I was never a Christopher Ruff fan. I didn't need Chris Ryder's permission to not like Christopher Ruff. Um, and he also, one time I gave him a mild criticism and he flipped right out. So, yeah, that whole thing about telling him if he fucked up, that wasn't true either. But anyway, that's beside the point. I'm just sort of introducing the characters. What we have here tonight is a showdown between the Angry Vet and Resla on Resla's show. And I'm going to just show you a clip from the show that is what I'm talking about. Um, I'm not going to be interrupting the clip. I've already added my comments to it. Um, but I thought it was kind of interesting. And now I'm playing there's like a whole, I think it's about a 10-minute section. I did speed up one part just to get through it, but I wanted to leave it all in context so you could see the progression. And you'll see it all has to do with Resla being up on stage and Vet's in chat. So the Vet's, whenever his chats are up, I brought them up to make sure you can see them big, but otherwise I'll let this play and maybe have a couple of comments at the end of it. So let's see how it goes.
Like, well, what is this for? What's this for? What's this for? What's the point of it? You just like wasting your keyboard strokes? Is that
I know I wasn't going to interrupt, but I forgot there was one other thing I was going to mention. After I put this together, I didn't go back and rewatch. So if I screwed up in any of the edits, forgive me.
what's the point of that? Don't you have time to like troll GS or something? But why? What are you here for? I know, I know. You hate the world. That's why you love problems. You don't want peace. You want violence always. I know, Josh. All right. So let me just hop into this quick third segment. Right? Should hate speech be protected? Should hate speech be protected? No. Let me just cut that shit out right now. This is not a free speech platform. You are absolutely 1000% fucking wrong. YouTube does not promote free speech. Sorry if you didn't read that. This is not a free speech platform. Not at all. Not even a little bit. If they decide they want it done, you're done. In fact, if it was so much of a free speech platform, so many people wouldn't be walking around curtailing and curbing and turning around and trying to hide the words that they want to use. See, I don't care. I say particular things because you know why? I would battle YouTube on a different aspect. I'm not gonna say it, but I read enough of the. I'm one of those boring motherfuckers that will sit there and read all the stuff. So I know that if YouTube came for me for any type of wording, I would have a lot of questions for them that I would need them to answer. So no, this is not a free speech platform. Not at all. See, I get it. You guys live here in these United States, but you somehow believe that just because you're in these United States that a private corporation needs to abide by that. A private corporation that services the entire globe needs to kowtow to these United States. You're absolutely wrong. Private corporations can act as they please, the same way how an embassy does. You step onto that side of the embassy, you are no longer in the US. You abide by whatever rules they got there.
This is not, NOT not, a free speech platform. It's not. If I go onto a platform that is in another jurisdiction, they acquiesce to what they go through. And they ask me not to do particular things, like drink, like promote brands by accidentally picking up the wrong drink can that I'm gonna pick up, by not smoking. Remember, freedom of expression, right? It's also in there, right? Then why do so many platforms talk about nudity or scantily clad? Isn't that protected?
And that's not just a matter of YouTube, folks. Twitch does that as well. Kick does that as well. Everyone does it. Well, minus X because people are still battling on whether you can still be doing it on X. So outside of that, Where do you get the idea that it's free? That you can just do whatever you want whenever you want? No such thing. In fact, there's nowhere on the globe that you can just go do whatever you want whenever you want. Not even here. What are we doing? Now, you can do and talk and say as you please if you decide that you got the money for it. You're going to pay the fine. You want to do the time. That's fine. That's okay. That's dandy. It's obvious that you have a huge crush on 10th Man. And I don't care the fact that you care about what goes in my body. Yeah, that's a problem already in itself. Because the same person that will turn around and say, what I drink and what I decide to like is my business. And again, as a person who can pay for it, the idea that you say it's just it's garbage. No one asked you. Who gives a fuck what you think? I don't ask about what bitches you try to lay down with, if you lay down with any bitches at all, but that's still your prerogative to do what you want. You're entitled to do it. So long as you can pay for it, you can hold on to it, or if you want to protect it. But no one asked you. If I like it, I like it. See, the same way how I think you have a big man crush on 10th Man. Because you guys are going back and forth, and I'm watching his shit, but you are quick to just go for anything on his throat. In fact, he's just talking. You keep adding him. What's your issue? Are you, this is, you know what? I'm going to say this. This is the problem that I have with people who have too much free time on their hands. They treat the internet like it's real life. You have way too much time on your hands, sir. It seems like you be jerking off to him. And I think 10th Man say he's already married and got someone, so I don't know why you keep thinking about him in the shower, my guy. The what show? The what show? I think you forgot who runs this bitch. The what show? The what show? Huh? Sorry? Huh? Nah, you not. Now, if you want to come back in this chat, you're gonna have to get a whole new different account to do so. Oh, was that wrong of me, chat? Was that wrong of me to do? Hmm? Huh? Was I wrong for doing that? The fuck do I care? He literally disrupted my flow. And I was monitoring that conversation for quite some time. I only saw one person on that antagonist side.
And hello, Carrie. So yeah, Resla made it very clear he didn't care at all what the angry vet had to say, although he did turn 10 minutes of his show over to going back and forth with him. And he didn't care so much that he ended up banning Tad there at the end. I think that was obvious. And the thing I find hilarious is he doesn't even realize that Tav won by him overreacting like that. Tav won, I'm sure. Tav does not care that he got banned from the place. You know, let me mention one other thing, a little side note, because there was at one point in there where he was talking about between Tav and 10th Man, whoever that is, and he said, I thought he said, you keep adding him. And then I realized that what he was saying was, you keep atting him. Now let's get this straight, because I see people saying this all the time. They'll say about you mentioned me. That I remember a toddler saying that to Finkel the one time, and I've heard other people say that you mention. When you draw their attention to a video, and obviously when he was saying you keep adding him, he meant that Tav kept, when he talked to 10th Man, would put at 10th Man or whatever, because then it highlights it in chat. Where the hell have you people been for the last 50 years? It's not called atting somebody. It's not an at mention. It's a tag, all right? When you put at the person's name, you tagged them. The same way you can tag things with the crosshatch, okay? Let me see. Yep, exactly, Carrie. Tav totally proved this point. And it's funny too, because most of what was going on in chat seemed to be Tav going back and forth with this 10th Man guy. And then Reza was like, oh no, I'm not white knighting the 10th Man. Well, why'd you get into it at all? Anyway, that's pretty much all I got to say about it. People say it so much. Yeah, I've heard other people say it too. You're talking about the at thing. Yeah, it's tagging. It's been tagging for 30 years. Well, yeah. So, coming up on 20 minutes. 10 minutes of that was the video, so that's not too bad, I guess. I think I've said what I have to say about it. I guess I will take off now. Thanks for stopping in, Carrie. And it says there's a couple other people lurking. I don't know who. And anybody who will maybe watch this tomorrow. Hope you enjoyed it. I'll be interested in any feedback. And as they say in Japan, arrivederci.
And that's the way it is.